Hey, E-King Fight News. This is Justin, and shout out to Fat Man Dan for the scoop. Eddie Hearn to put an offer together for Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder fight. This is a story that, I mean, if it's true, it's true. This is a quote coming from Hearn. We're going to put an offer together this week and look to continue conversation with Wilder's team. That's Eddie Hearn. E-King Fight News. More on this. That's right. Wilder Joshua could be made and announced for 2018. That's the plan for Eddie Hearn. You know, Eddie Hearn's being very vague about when he wants to do this fight. He's saying, it could be August or it could be November, December. But the one thing he's been consistent about is he wants to make this fight in the year 2018. But it sounds like he prefers to have it at the end of the year for whatever reason, you know. I think he had a plan to have Anthony Joshua fight 3 times and to have one of those times to be a Deontay Wilder fight, but I believe he wanted to have 2 interim fights before that mega clash between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Now, in this scenario, I think the fight is at its peak right now, and it needs to happen next. However, the other side of the coin is Eddie Hearn. He needs to understand, if one of these guys fights an interim fight and loses, you just put like at least 50 million pounds down the fucking drain. Because, you know, the marquee behind these 2 fighters is Deontay Wilder, undefeated WBC champion, versus Anthony Joshua, undefeated unified heavyweight champion with all the other belts. That is the intrigue. That's the mystique behind this fight. Deontay Wilder knocked out every man he stepped in the ring with. Anthony Joshua knocked out, 20 of 21 opponents. That's the mystique. If these 2 guys have interim fights and look less than impressive, less than stellar, or if they potentially lose, their stock will drop. And right now, both of these guys, Anthony Joshua's stock is not at an all-time high, but it's still doing very well. And Deontay Wilder's stock is at an all-time high. So I think now is the time to make the fight. Don't bother risking these guys, potentially losing. This is the heavyweight division, guys. All it takes is one punch, and someone's chin, whose chin you thought you could trust, that trust will betray you at any given day. Telling you guys. But this is what Eddie Hearn had to say. They're putting an offer together this week. Eddie Hearn saying he's got some meetings lined up with Team Wilder and with Joshua and his trainer. Hearn said that, it's going to be a hot topic. Wilder, when he meets with Joshua and Robert McCracken, we'll be talking about whether Joshua fights again in July or August, or we go straight into a Wilder fight in October, November, Hearn said. Hearn said he spoke with Showtime Sports President Steven Espinoza on Tuesday night to see what would work best for Showtime, which has featured both fighters throughout their title reigns. Joshua's contract with the network expired following the Parker fight. I spoke to Steven Espinoza to talk about mapping it out, and he said a Joshua Wilder fight works best for him in September or December. Now, Steven Espinoza, he's the head of Showtime Sports. So if that's what he said, according to Eddie Hearn, I guess we got to take his word for it. Also another Eddie Hearn quote. He said, we either fight in July or August, and then we see what happens, but I want to do a deal now, Hearn said. Even if we both fight this summer, I'm looking to reach an agreement on this fight prior to our next fight, where we already signed to fight Wilder in December because of the fan demand. It's important that the fight is actually made now, even if they fight one more time. You know, I'm fine with that. If Eddie Hearn's telling me fight is official, it's going down in December, but these two are fighting on the same card or whatever, on the same night, in different venues, whatever it is. As long as these two are signed to get into the ring, I'll be happy. I think we'll all be happy about that. So what Eddie Hearn is saying, that he wants to make the Joshua Wilder fight in 2018. The question is, do we fight in the summer and then box Wilder in December, or do we go straight into a fight in September or October? That is one of the things I'll be speaking with Joshua and Rob about. But the only way I think we should have an interim fight is if the Wilder fight is signed. We want it. Joshua wants it bad. It's the biggest fight in world boxing. It's for the undisputed world championship. And no one should doubt Joshua wants the fight. Okay, that's Eddie Hearn. That's what he has to say. No one should doubt Joshua's desire to take this fight. Hey, I mean, if Joshua didn't come out, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. E-King Fight News. We'll be back. All right, back at it. Let's get it. If Eddie Hearn could have just shut his mouth and told Joshua, don't speak on the Wilder situation before he planned on coming to Cardiff, Joshua wouldn't look so suspect. If he didn't say that shit about Wilder not wanting him in the ring, people wouldn't be talking like Joshua's scared. But he went out, he said what he had to say, and he got a backlash for it. And then he had to fucking rephrase everything he was saying. He had to go back and say, "Oh, I never said that. This is what I meant," and shit. That's why people thought Joshua was scared, because he said he didn't want Wilder in the ring. That's why. Okay? Eddie Hearn, you understand that, right? Shout out to the brother Boxing Ego. Man, that dude breaks the news all the fucking time, man. So shout out to him. And it is what it is, guys. Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn trying to put an offer together. Really? For real? For real? Shit, man. He better not be fucking around. He better put some real numbers together. Because we know Wilder ain't taking no bullshit. He ain't taking no $5 million. He ain't taking no $3 million. You better give this man $8 to $10 million. And we gotta fight. And we gotta fucking fight. That's what it should be. We're talking about the biggest heavyweight fight since Lewis and Tyson. If we're really talking about it, what heavyweight fight has been as big as a Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson? For the real boxing fans out there, can we say there's been a fight on that level where it can draw huge numbers in the UK and the US? Huh? You guys tell me. This is the biggest fight since Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. And those guys weren't even undefeated. So there's so much mystique behind both of these guys. This fight needs to happen now. It really does. I don't want to see interim fights because you're risking either guy losing. And just like you saw in the 7th round versus Luis Ortiz, you never know what the fuck can happen. You never know. E-King Fight News. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get it. Eddie Hearn, make it happen. Make that offer. Wilder, send it to your lawyer and fucking sign that shit. He can't fight these, man. Y'all know what it is.